Good morning, all of you. Welcome to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone. Today we are going to discuss new chapter since we have completed chemical kinetics in 12th class. Now we are going to discuss new chapter, that is surface chemistry. Very important chapter, and it's theoretical more mainly. Very few numericals we have. All the points in this chapter are very important. Whatever slides we have prepared, that is the PPTs we have prepared, please go through it and maintain a classwork. Then only you can easily understand. So now we are going to start surface chemistry. So in this chapter, we'll discuss, it is nothing but only surface phenomenon. So we'll discuss about surface chemistry now. Yes. What is surface chemistry? So it is nothing but a surface phenomenon. And in this chapter, we are going to discuss all these points. And once you finish this chapter, you should know all these topics clearly. And from each and every topic, they will give the questions for the competitive exams. It's very important. So surface chemistry deals with the processes. Surface chemistry deals with the processes that occur at surfaces or interfaces. Very important point is surface phenomenon. It is a surface property. So what are the processes that are taking place at surfaces or interfaces is nothing but what? Surface chemistry. It's very easy chapter, and most important also, every objective exam definitely you'll get 2-3 questions from this chapter, and it's very lengthy chapter. So please carefully listen to my points and see the observe the PPTs what we are given. And in this chapter, what we have mainly the phenomenon studied under surface chemistry are: first one we have adsorption, catalysis, and colloidal state. And fourth one we have in colloidal state only we have subtopic that is called emulsions. So these are the 4 topics in this chapter. So that is adsorption, catalysis, colloidal state, and emulsions. Out of these 4 topics, first topic and third topic is most important. Adsorption and colloidal state are most very important. They are very much important. So we should concentrate more on this, and you answer as many questions as you can from the competitive books or gain the material from these 2 topics mainly in this chapter. Definitely you are going to get a question from this. So I hope it is clear now. So what we are going to study in this chapter: adsorption, catalysis, colloidal state, as well as emulsions. Next, what is adsorption? So adsorption is a, as we already discussed, it is a surface phenomena. So adsorption is a phenomena where molecules accumulate on the surface of a solid or liquid. Accumulation of molecules on the surface of a solid or liquid is commonly called as adsorption. So the accumulation means prevailing on the outer surface. What is accumulation means? Prevailing on the surface, just like dust particles in air are present. Prevailing on the surface. Prevailing on the surface is nothing but accumulation. So accumulation on the surface of a solid or liquid is nothing but adsorption. Adsorption of hydrogen gas on powdered charcoal, or adsorption of water molecules on silica gel. Silica gel is called adsorbent, and here we have 2 topics. One is hydrogen gas is called adsorbate. The particle which is adsorbing is called adsorbate, and the medium is called adsorbent. So here this is called adsorbent. So powder charcoal, adsorption of hydrogen gas and palladium. So palladium, powder charcoal, these are all called adsorbent. These are called adsorbents. And silica gel is called adsorbent here. And adsorption of water molecules. Water is called as adsorbates. So adsorbates. And the process of adsorption of hydrogen gas. Adsorption, one more example I'm giving you. Adsorption of hydrogen gas molecules on clean palladium metallic surface. Palladium metallic surface is called as, the process is called occlusion. Occlusion. So this is called occlusion. So this is nothing but adsorption. So adsorption is a phenomena where molecules accumulate on the surface of a solid or liquid, Adsorption examples: adsorption of hydrogen gas on powdered charcoal. So powdered charcoal is called adsorbent. The medium where the gas getting adsorbed, the adsorbents are getting adsorbed are called as adsorbed. Adsorbed are called as adsorbents. So here adsorption of water molecules on silica gel. Silica gel is a good adsorbent. It absorbs moisture from air. It absorbs moisture from air. Adsorption, absorption, both are different. So this is called adsorption. I hope it is clear. Next, what is adsorbate and adsorbent? As we discussed, adsorbate is a substance which gets adsorbed. Like in the previous examples, hydrogen gas is called adsorbate. Adsorbate is a substance which gets adsorbed on the surface of another substance. So the adsorbent is a substance on which adsorption takes place. So it is a substance or surface on which adsorption takes place. In the adsorption of carbon monoxide on charcoal, carbon monoxide is the adsorbate and charcoal is the adsorbent. Adsorbents are the substances which can adsorb the adsorbates. I hope it is clear. So this is called adsorbate, is the substance which gets adsorbed on the surface of another substance. Next. What is desorption? Desorption is the process of removal of adsorbed molecules from the surface of a substance. It is opposite to adsorption. For example, if I tell you now, hydrogen gas is adsorbed on hydrogen gas molecules, is adsorbed on palladium surface. Palladium is a clean palladium metal surface. So palladium surface. So in this case, what happens if you give some temperature, heat, if you heat palladium surface, if you heat palladium surface, palladium, then what happens? The hydrogen gas gets adsorbed. Hydrogen gas molecules move away from palladium surface, move away from palladium surface. So this is nothing but what? The process of removal of adsorbed molecules from the surface of a substance is called as desorption. So here, in this process, desorption of hydrogen gas molecules takes place if you heat palladium surface. If you don't heat, what happens? Hydrogen gas gets adsorbed on the palladium surface. That is called adsorption, and this is called desorption. So this is called desorption. So this process is called as desorption. I hope it is clear. So it is opposite to adsorption. It is called desorption. Next, what is absorption? Absorption means the accumulation of molecular species uniformly on the surface and throughout the bulk of the solid is called absorption. Absorption means going inside. So the accumulation of molecular species uniformly on the surface and throughout the bulk of the solid is called absorption. Example, water vapors is absorbed. Water vapors is absorbed by anhydrous calcium chloride. So calcium chloride is called the adsorbent, but it's here it is not adsorbent. It is nothing but calcium chloride can absorb. Absorb means taking inside. By water vapor is being absorbed by anhydrous calcium chloride. Anhydrous calcium chloride. So if absorption taking place simultaneously, it is known as sorption. So if simultaneously both absorption and adsorption takes place, it is called sorption. Certain dyes undergo sorption on fibers. Certain dyes undergoes sorption on fibers. One more simple example I'll tell you. For example, in general, if you take into consideration, suppose the dust particles, the dust particles prevailing on the hair, prevailing on our hair, on hair is called dust particles from air prevailing on hair is called on hair means on our hair is called adsorption. Even on the body also you can say. And whereas uh, the oxygen we are inhaling of oxygen inhaling from the atmosphere by our body, inhaling of oxygen by us, oxygen inhaling by us is called absorption. So this is a slight difference. Absorption means going inside, and adsorption means prevailing on the outer surface only. It is called absorption. So these two examples make you clear. So I hope it is clear now. Next, so this is called adsorption and absorption. Absorption means the accumulation of molecular species spread uniformly on the surface and throughout the bulk of the solid is called absorption. Certain dyes undergo sorption on fibers. So if adsorption and absorption happen simultaneously, it is known as sorption. If adsorption and absorption happen simultaneously, it is known as sorption. I hope it is clear. Next, differences between absorption and adsorption. This is very important. They'll ask in the examination. Based on this, they'll give statement based question. Statement: which of the following is true regarding adsorption? Which of the following is incorrect regarding absorption? Like these questions they'll ask. So what is adsorption, what is absorption, already we have seen. So adsorption is a surface phenomenon and absorption is a bulk phenomenon. Here it is bulk phenomenon. It is present not only on the surface but also going inside the body. So the concentration of the substance on the surface of adsorbent is different from that in the bulk, and the concentration of the substance is same throughout the material. This is very, very important point. So the concentration of the substance on the surface of adsorbent is different from that in bulk, whereas it is same throughout the material. Next, rate is high in the beginning and then decreases till equilibrium is attained, and the rate of absorption remains same throughout the process. I hope it is clear. So all these points definitely they are very, very important. Differences between adsorption and absorption, more points also I'm discussing now. And from this you will get statement based question, that is which of the following is incorrect regarding adsorption or absorption, or correct regarding adsorption or absorption. So they'll ask statement based questions. Next difference is next. So thermodynamics of adsorption. Enthalpy of adsorption is negative. Enthalpy of adsorption is negative, that is delta H. So by this we can say delta H is negative. So always adsorption is exothermic process. What is this? Adsorption is exothermic in nature. Very, very important point. Please note down. Adsorption is exothermic in nature. The process of adsorption is always exothermic. We can say the process of adsorption, the process of, I'll write it here clearly, the process of adsorption is exothermic. Very, very important point. First point. Also during adsorption, the entropy decreases and hence the entropy change of adsorption is also negative. Entropy change, delta S is also negative. Delta H is negative, delta S is negative. And from thermodynamics, we know delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. So for spontaneous process, delta G must be negative. So for adsorption, both delta H and delta S are negative, and the value of delta G becomes negative only if the magnitude of delta H is more than that of delta S, T delta S, very, very important. If the magnitude of delta H is more than that of T delta S, then only the process is spontaneous. Otherwise, it is non-spontaneous. Usually, these 2 points are very important. This table is very, very important. From this also, you'll definitely get a question. During adsorption, which of the following is correct? Delta H is negative. Delta H, delta S, that is entropy of uh, adsorption, is also negative, and delta H, enthalpy of adsorption, is negative, and delta G may be negative or positive, depends upon the values of delta H and T delta S. If delta H value, if delta H is less than T delta S, then the process is spontaneous. Then delta G becomes negative and the process is spontaneous. So this table is very, very important. All these points are very important. Definitely you'll get one question from these points. So if delta H is less than T delta S, T delta S, that is the temperature into change in entropy, then the process is spontaneous. Otherwise, the process is non-spontaneous. And always the process of adsorption is exothermic because the enthalpy of adsorption is always negative, and also the entropy change of adsorption is also negative. Entropy change is also negative and enthalpy also negative. I hope it is clear. So by this, these are the thermodynamics functions of adsorption. Very, very important points. All these points from definitely you will get one question from these points. Please note it down. Next. Mechanism of adsorption. Adsorption on a solid or liquid is due to unbalanced. It is due to unbalanced valence forces acting at the surface. So what is this unbalanced valence forces means? I'll tell you now. So adsorption on a solid or liquid is due to unbalanced valence forces acting at the surface. So, for example, as I told you, metals are good adsorbers. Why metals are good adsorbents? Because metal have free electrons. Due to these free electrons, unbalanced valence electrons, they will accept the substances which is getting deposited on it. That is adsorption on it. So, adsorption on a solid or liquid is due to unbalanced valence forces acting at the surface. Example, adsorption of gases on metals. Adsorption of gases on metals. This can be done. That metals are solids already. You know, metals are nothing but what? They are solids at room temperature. So on metallic surfaces, adsorption of gases takes place easily because metal have free electrons. They have free valence electrons, which that is they are unbalanced. Due to which what happens, their place will be occupied by the means of this uh, adsorbates. The point on the surface where unbalanced force is acting is known as active center. So what is this point on the adsorption taking place? It is called as active center. It means nothing but metallic surface are active centers because the electrons will be migrating from it by absorbing energy, due to which what happens, they become very active centers. All the metallic surfaces are active. All the clean metallic surfaces are active centers because where they can unbalanced forces acting on is nothing but active center, and the molecules are held by these active centers, resulting in adsorption. So on the active centers, the molecules will be adsorbed. So this is called mechanism of adsorption. I hope it is clear. So mechanism of adsorption, it's very easy to understand. Next, why finely divided solid is more effective? Yes, very, very important point. As I told you, that's why I'm telling every time clean surface. Why finely divided solid is made effective in adsorption. When a solid is broken into small pieces, when a solid is broken into small pieces, its surface area increases. There will be increase in the number of active centers, and adsorption will be more effective in finely divided state. So if it is active centers become increasing, so automatically adsorption also increases. Commonly used adsorbents, these are very, very important. So the adsorbents which are commonly used are activated charcoal. It's a very, very good adsorbent. Many gases, harmful gases, can be adsorbed by activated charcoal, animal charcoal, silica gel, water vapors getting adsorbed, and a number of finely divided metals. As I told you, metals are all clean metallic surfaces are good adsorbents, such as copper, nickel, palladium, etc. So these are called the common adsorbents. As we already seen, the traffic police wearing a mask. Traffic police wearing a mask is nothing but nowadays everyone is wearing because of corona. But the traffic police wearing a mask is different from whatever the mask we have. So that is nothing but it's a good adsorbent because harmful gases from the air getting adsorbed on the surface of the mask only. I hope it is clear now. Next. So activated charcoal is a powerful adsorbent since it is a microscopic crystalline. As I told you, activated charcoal is a powerful adsorbent since it is a microscopic crystalline variety of graphite. Charcoal is nothing but what? Graphite. It's a crystalline variety of graphite having a very large surface area. As the surface area increases, adsorption also increases because of the number of active centers increases. Next, types of adsorption, very, very important. We have two types of mainly adsorption. If the process is physical in process, we can solve it is called physical adsorption, or physiorption, or van der Waals adsorption. And if the process is chemical adsorption, we call it as chemisorption, chemical adsorption, or Langmuir adsorption. So all this we are going to discuss now. So two types of adsorption, we have physical adsorption, chemical adsorption, physiorption, chemical absorption, or van der Waals adsorption, Langmuir adsorption, all are different type. Now, what is physical adsorption? The adsorption where the adsorbate and adsorbent are held by weak van der Waals forces. The adsorption where the adsorbate and adsorbent are held by weak van der Waals forces are called as physical adsorptions. So physical adsorptions is nothing but what? The adsorption where the adsorbate and adsorbent are held by weak van der Waals forces. Means if the attraction between the adsorbate and adsorbent are held by weak van der Waals force, we'll call it as physical adsorption. Simple words. Next, characteristics of physical adsorption. It's very, very important. All the characteristics. They'll ask definitely all the characteristics of physical adsorption and chemical adsorption are important, because from this they'll ask statement-based question. So non-specific in nature. It is non-specific in nature. We cannot say how much adsorbent can be adsorbed on the adsorbent, sorry. So it is non-specific in nature. Nature of adsorbate, reversible nature, very important. It is reversible in nature, and it depends upon the nature of adsorbate. Surface area of adsorbent, larger the surface area, stronger is the adsorption. So it depends on the surface area also. Larger the surface area, stronger is the adsorption. And it is also depending on enthalpy of adsorption. Enthalpy of adsorption. So this is based upon physical adsorption, non-specific in nature, nature of adsorbate, reversible nature, surface area of adsorbent, and enthalpy of adsorption. So all are very, very important. So I hope it is clear. Now we'll discuss more about it. Non-specific nature of adsorbent. What is non-specific? The adsorption is universal. For a given adsorbent, any gas can be made to adsorb on the solid surface. That's why we can say non-specific nature of adsorbent. The adsorption is universal. For a given adsorbent, any gas can be made to adsorb. Not only hydrogen gas, oxygen gas can be adsorbed, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, any gas can be adsorbed on the metallic surface. So that's why you can say non-specific nature of adsorbent. Next, we have nature of adsorbate. In adsorption case, in adsorption of gases over a solid, easily these points are very, very important, and I'll underline this. Based on this, they'll ask objective question. Which of the following can adsorb easily? With and the following in the decreasing order of their adsorption. Decreasing order of their adsorption. And the following in the decreasing order of their expansion absorption. So what are the orders we can write? They'll give critical temperature values, or they'll give van der Waals constant also. So we'll discuss all those types of questions. For example, so in adsorption of gases over a solid, easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed easily. Easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed easily. Easily liquefiable gases have higher value of critical constants and have high van der Waals force of attraction. That is higher the value of A. So they'll give A values for different four gases, and they ask us to write decreasing order of their adsorption. Higher the value of A, more easily the gas can be adsorbed. Higher the value of A, more easily the gas can be liquefied, and also the gas can be adsorbed easily. So easily liquefiable gases which have critical temperature less. So easily more critical temperature. Easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed easily. Easily liquefiable gases have higher value of critical constants and have high van der Waals forces of attraction. So on a charcoal, the ease of adsorption of gases is carbon dioxide, ammonia, nitrogen, hydrogen. Like this, the decreasing order they'll ask. But in the examination, the objective examination, they will not give all those things. They'll give arrange the following in the decreasing order of their adsorption, and based on that, they'll give either A values, that is van der Waals constant A values, or they'll give critical temperatures. So in these both cases, critical temperature, so either they can give critical temperature values or A values. Usually they'll give A values. So in this case, higher the value of A, more easily the gas can be adsorbed, and higher the value of critical temperature, more easily the gas can be adsorbed. So in both the cases, it is higher. So they can give critical temperature values of gases A, B, C, D, and they ask us to write A, B, C, D. In the sense, I'm giving an example. They can give any gas. So they'll ask us to write decreasing order of their adsorption. So this is very, very important point. So easily liquefiable gases have higher value of critical constants and have high van der Waals force of attraction. On charcoal, the ease of adsorption of gases is carbon dioxide, ammonia, nitrogen, hydrogen. I hope it is clear. Next. Next, reversible nature. So second is reversible nature. So what is reversible nature? In reversible nature, as I told you, physical adsorption is reversible in nature, means we can reverse the process by giving energy or by giving temper heating or by adsorption, etc. So physical adsorption is always reversible in nature. With an increase in pressure, adsorption increases. Very important point. With the increase of pressure, adsorption increases. With the decrease in pressure, the desorption takes place. So if you decrease the pressure, automatically desorption, that is escaping of molecules, gas molecules from the surface takes place. So with the decrease in pressure, the desorption takes place, and with the increase in pressure, adsorption takes place. So physical adsorption is reversible in nature. So if you increase and decrease the pressure, automatically the process can be reversible. Next, surface area of the adsorbent, as I told you, more the surface area or larger the surface area of the adsorbent, more adsorption can take place. This is due to more number of active centers. This point already I discussed. So if you increase the surface area of the adsorbent, that is like metal or charcoal, automatically the number of active centers will increase. As the number of active centers increases, adsorption also increases. Adsorption also increases. So more the surface area of the adsorbent, more adsorption can take place. This is due to more number of active centers, and also adsorption increases. I hope it is clear. Next. Next, enthalpy of adsorption. What is enthalpy of adsorption? The energy released during the process of adsorption is called as enthalpy of adsorption. That is heat. So what is enthalpy of adsorption? Already we discussed. So generally adsorption is always an exothermic process. Very, very important. Adsorption is always an exothermic process in general. In physical adsorption, the enthalpy of adsorption is less because it's a physical phenomena. And usually the enthalpy of adsorption, all these points are very important for all the objective questions. The enthalpy of adsorption ranges from 20 kilojoules per mole to 40 kilojoules per mole. This is due to weak van der Waals forces. So physical adsorption takes place by the means of van der Waals forces, means the force of attraction between the adsorbent as well as the adsorbate is due to van der Waals forces, which is very, very small. And that's why the enthalpy of adsorption is 20 kilojoules to 40 kilojoules per mole. And very, very important point, adsorption is always an exothermic process. I hope it is clear now. Next, what is chemical adsorption? Very, very important. Both physical absorption and chemical adsorption is very important. So what is chemical adsorption? We'll discuss now. The adsorption taking place due to the formation of chemical bond, just like I told you, as chemical bond takes place, either ionic bond, no ionic bond, only covalent bond between the adsorbate and adsorbent is known as chemical adsorption. So the adsorption taking place due to the formation, due to the van der Waals force is nothing but what? It is physical adsorption. Whereas the adsorption taking place due to the formation of chemical bond between the adsorbate and adsorbent is called as chemical adsorption. Chemical adsorption is stronger than physical adsorption generally because van der Waals force is weaker than chemical force. So I hope it is clear. Next, characteristics of chemical adsorption. So it is highly specific in nature, irreversible in nature. It is not reversible. It is containing high activation energy. So what is activation energy? We have discussed in chemical kinetics. So that is also, it requires high activation energy and it requires high heat of adsorption, and it is unimolecular layer, very, very important. Physical adsorption can be multi-layer, but this can be unimolecular layer of adsorption, and it is depending on surface area of the adsorbent also. So unimolecular and multimolecular, multi-layer. So unimolecular layer and multimolecular layer. I hope it is clear now. Next, high specificity. So it is highly specific in nature because the chemical adsorption is highly specific in nature because it depends both on adsorbent as well as adsorbate. Particular gases can be adsorbed on particular adsorbent. Hydrogen is adsorbed only on palladium, nickel, or platinum, but not on any other metals. That is, this process called as occlusion. So that's why it is highly specific in nature. Next, irreversible nature. The adsorption increases with the increase in pressure and until the surface is covered by a unimolecular layer of gas molecules. Very important point. The adsorption increases with the increase in pressure. Already we know in physical adsorption also the same thing. But until the surface is covered by a unimolecular layer of gas molecules, the surface of adsorbent should be covered by a unimolecular layer of gas molecules. On decreasing pressure, the desorption does not take place here. Whereas in physical adsorption, on decreasing pressure, desorption takes place, but here no desorption takes place because it's a chemical bond. Once the reactants combine together, they form a product, so it cannot be reversed. That's why it is irreversible in nature, and that's why there is no desorption takes place. If it is reversible in nature, desorption takes place. But since it is irreversible in nature, desorption does not take place. I hope it is clear. Next, enthalpy of adsorption. The enthalpy of adsorption is more. It is more in. It is nothing but not in. Is more in chemical adsorption when compared to physical adsorption, because this is due to the formation of chemical bonds during adsorption, and always chemical bonds are greater than van der Waals forces. The force of attraction in chemical bonds is greater than van der Waals forces. So high energy is required to break that bonds, whereas when compared to van der Waals forces. So I hope it is clear now. So that enthalpy of adsorption is more in chemical adsorption when compared to physical adsorption, because in chemical adsorption, chemical bonds takes place and high energy is required to break the bonds. And once the product is formed, is not reversible. It cannot be changed into reactants. And whereas in physical adsorption, van der Waals forces takes place due to the formation of due to van der Waals force of attraction only the adsorption takes place, and it is less in nature. Next, formation of unimolecular layer. In chemical adsorption, the adsorbate will form only on the unimolecular layer, means the multimolecular layer is not possible, as chemical bonds can be formed by molecules only in the first layer. Since that's why it is unimolecular. Many gases cannot be adsorbed in chemical adsorption because it is a reaction, it is a chemical reaction. So in chemical adsorption, the adsorbate will form only in a unimolecular layer. The multimolecular layer is not possible as chemical bonds can be formed by molecules only in the first layer. Next, main differences. Tapasvi, sound deki. Tapasvi. So physiabsorption and chemisabsorption. It is caused due to van der Waals forces. It is caused by chemical bond formation. It is not specific in nature. It is highly specific in nature. It is reversible in nature. It is irreversible in nature. It depends on the nature of gas. More easily liquefiable gases are adsorbed readily. This point is most important. Definitely, they'll ask from this table one statement-based question. Which of the following is true regarding physical adsorption? Which of the following is true regarding chemical adsorption? So it depends on the nature of the gas. More easily liquefiable gas are adsorbed readily. It also depends on the nature of the gas, but gases which can react with the adsorbent show chemosorption only. So all these points are very, very important. So please note down in your classwork and you can solve easily first questions easily, very easily. Next, enthalpy of adsorption is low in physical adsorption. It is in the range of 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole in this case, whereas enthalpy of adsorption is high, that is in the range of 80 to 240 kilojoules per mole in this case. Low temperature is favorable for adsorption and high temperature is favorable for adsorption. So enthalpy of adsorption is low and low temperature, very important. This point is also important. For physical adsorption, low temperature is favored. And for chemical adsorption, high temperature is favored because the reaction takes place only at high temperatures usually. And whereas physical adsorption, low temperature, if you heat, what happens? Automatically, desorption takes place. Here, desorption takes place, and here, no desorption takes place. That's why low temperature. So here, desorption takes place if you take more temperature. So that's why, and here, no desorption, as already we know. That's why this can be done at high temperatures also. I hope it is clear. So all these points are very, very important for objective exams. Next, no appreciable activation energy is needed. For physical adsorption, activation energy is not required. It is negligible. Whereas high activation energy is required, is sometimes needed, and activation energy is also needed for chemical adsorption. Definitely, because based on chemical kinetics, we have already seen the collision theory of reaction rates. So collision theory, So in that collision theory, we already know that the chemical reaction takes place means if a reaction should take place means the reactant molecules should collide with each other and they should attain activation energy. So that's why based on the collision theory, activation energy is required. So for chemisorption also, activation energy is required. I hope it is clear. Next, multi-molecular layers are formed, whereas in physical adsorption, multi-molecular layers are formed, whereas in chemical adsorption, only unimolecular layer is found because only reactant changes to products. Since here in this case, reactant changes to products, so only unimolecular layer, whereas here multimolecular because there is no reaction. I hope it is clear. So all these points are very important regarding adsorption. So physical adsorption, chemical adsorption. So whatever the uh, thing we have completed up to here, it's most important, and definitely you are going to get one question based on this. All these concepts very important. You'll get theoretical questions. Let us discuss some questions now here based on this. Question number one. So I'll ask you based on this, how do you get a questions? Just I'm giving you one example. Question one, first question. So which of the following, I'll just clear it now. So from this concept, definitely you'll get statement based questions. Statement based questions. Very important. Statement based questions. Definitely they'll ask in the examination from physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. Physical and chemical adsorption. Statement based questions, either in character statement or character statement. That is first one. Second one, they'll ask us adsorbents like charcoal, silica gel, what they'll absorb, adsorbents questions. And third one, they'll ask us adsorption, that is thermal energy in adsorption. Thermal energy in adsorption, that is absorption is always exothermic. Thermal energy in adsorption. All these 3 points are important. So thermal energies in adsorption means what is delta H? Delta H is negative in case of all adsorptions. Delta S is also negative, that is change in entropy is also negative. And if delta G also can be negative, when only if delta H is less than T delta S. That is based on Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. That is delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. So all these points you have to carefully observe. It's very important. All the slides which I have given to you, that is PPTs, those are all nothing but notes only. You just make it as notes, and by seeing that notes, you can answer all the types of questions which are given in the competitive books. I hope it is clear. Yes. Now we are ending this session. In the next session, we'll discuss more about adsorption.